It's your boy. Hash Info. How you doing? Good afternoon. It's your host with the absolute most, the Hash Man. We're making breakfast this morning. Holy smokes, thank you so much for the likes already, everybody. That's a quick one. Seems the more crappy people we shed, the better off our odds are of getting cool people in the chat. I'd like to put a special shout out to all the cool people who constantly thumbs up and share the videos. Osvaldo Ferrari from Italy. You big fan of the Hash Mans. I can honestly say I'm a big fan of yours, bro. Every time you upload a video, I enjoy watching your videos, you know? Your videos are different than a lot of people here in North America. And that matters, you know? It means you're not like doing the exact same thing everybody else is doing. Sometimes I get a little bit of haterade on me. People are like, oh, you're filming your thing from this view when you do your VR? Yeah, bud, I am. You want to know why? Because it's funny. I think it's hilarious. But once you get into it, you can't take your eyes off it. And don't worry, bud. You know how ASMR was created? By goofs in a lab. No, just kidding. It was fast food joints that wanted mukbangs to take off. All got together and they promote and advertise on mukbang pages. Mukbang pages that eat their fast food. That's where mukbangs came from. Directive and narrative. Those are going to be two things we constantly talk about from now on. So everybody thought it was a conspiracy that, there was a thing called the New World Order and that people would lose their homes and stuff like this. Well, let's just say that in America, in the United States of America, 40 million people used to be homeless, without a home, without a ability to pay their rent. Now 55 million people, since this COVID started, are now without a home or going bankrupt or being evicted. And your stats will continue to, drastically go up. 55 million of you, when there's 350 million people living in the United States of America, is over 1/7 of your population has no ability to pay rent, just got evicted, or is homeless. 1/7 of America. I guarantee you, I predict, this is no prediction, this is a guarantee, I am the oracle. 1/6 of America will be homeless by the end of next year. 1/5 of America will be homeless by 2023. 1/4 of all Americans, 1 in 4 Americans, will not have a home in 2025. 2027, they'll have you down to a third, 1/3 of Americans. So 125 million people will not have a home by 2027, less than 6 years from now. And then it goes on and it gets worse. The global elites, there's a guy that runs the World Economic Foundation, WEF, go look it up. He's a German, last name is Schwab. He said, and I quote, he wrote a book, by 2023, everyone in the Western world will be homeless and happy. And World Economic Fund, Trudeau said, and I quote, we have an opportunity here to reset our economy. We have an opportunity. So Trudeau actually misspoke so bad that he goes out on a limb and says, we are following 100% the global elites agenda. So it used to be a conspiracy that the New World Order was taking over. Now it's no longer a conspiracy. You can see worldwide how people all over the world are dying, and then they're also having COVID. Okay, so they're not dying of COVID, they're dying with COVID. You have to be explicit when you speak, you have to understand what you're saying. They're not dying because of the COVID, they're dying with COVID. People are in car accidents, dying, decapitated. They had COVID. They didn't die because of COVID, they died because they got decapitated. They actually had COVID as well. If someone has cancer and dies of a heart attack, does the death, the mortician, does the person who does the autopsy, does he label you COVID death, or does he label, does he label you a cancer death, or does he label you a heart attack death? Of course, he labels you a heart attack. So what's changed now is that the global elites have now sunk their deep grips into private hospitals worldwide, and they have an agenda there. So it's important we uncover and completely, uh, anyone who isn't transparent in the hospital industry, anybody who isn't transparent in the um, research sector, jail them immediately. Build a case on them quietly for months, if not a year or two, and then take your stuff to the people, not to the media and the news stations. Go before the people and demand justice. All right. Next thing that we're going to talk about is quickly is the fact that, again, this was a conspiracy. If this is such a conspiracy, why is it that basically everything was predicted by so-called crazy people on the internet? Okay, and I'm not going to go into great detail, but I don't think David Icke is crazy in the slightest. David Icke has been trying to open up the eyes of billions of people for decades now. Um, there's something going on with the Queen of England. Okay, the Queen of England came to Canada in in mid 60s. She stayed in Kelowna, British Columbia. She took several children on a picnic. Those children never returned. So the Queen of England is up to something. We need to know what. We need to know why no charges ever stick to the Queen of England. Italy has tried to arrest the Queen. We have several people within Canada who are dead set on arresting the Queen for, charging her with these charges and then having her prosecuted in a court of law. You know, but you can't even begin to understand the problems that exist in this day and age because of the amount of people running the media that control your thoughts. All right, so your thoughts are controlled either by a simpleton who does something so simple you fall in love with his channel. Well, they see that as it's a mini Caesar's palace, right? Never any info, never spreading anything positive or bettering the people around you, right? So one thing why they were so scared of this channel was we helped hundreds of thousands of people for a few years there, giving very credible advice. Everybody would come to me and say, "How do you do this? Well, how did you do that? How did you get this? Where did you get that? How do you have a 4-foot clone? I've never seen anything like this." It's all because you guys didn't use your time wisely that you had available in front of you. I have spent decades researching plants. Harnessing within, a genetic bank that's so perfect. Most of you have to like move around and try and buy your way into some sort of genetics. My genetics have been with me for a very long time, and for people to think that you can understand what you have before you after just a season or two, you're a total goof. You would never understand the split that lies inside those seeds. So don't even begin. Don't even get me going. Pathetic what's out there and how so many people just claim to have these land races, or better yet, you claim to have a hybrid that's, a pure sativa. It's hilarious what's out there. But forget about, saying someone's dumb because they're saying they have a blueberry and it's a cherry pie, or a lemon twist and it's a citrus lime crunch. Let's get at the facts here. Are you doing a good job? Are you growing bushes? or you grow on little stalks with tiny buds, right? So figure out where you lie and then decide, your future for yourself. I decided I wasn't going to be a closet grower or a tiny piddly, big toe grower. I wanted big thigh high buds, just big ass buds. Um, Never settled for less. So that's my take on it. If I see someone's room and they're a big bragger, then it's like, well, how come your plants are so piddly, bud? Like your colas weigh less than half. If your cola weighs less than a half, that is like 89% less than my weight of my colas. I'm getting like 1.5 Z's per cola, min. It could be a Z, could be 2 Z's per cola. So on my biggest, not on my smallest, but on my biggest, right? So that's huge. You're not gonna find that on other. You go to Rainbow's back in the day, he had some, but they weren't that frosty. Rainbow's a good grower. There's lots of people growing with LEDs now. I think the switch is a little too soon. I know LEDs are good. They work great and stuff. I've used about 16, 17 different varieties of LEDs now since I started. And a bunch of different types of bulbs and things. And I've got my favorites. There are those out there that are crunching numbers better than others. So I guess that's kind of it for now. I think the most important things I said were nearing the beginning. Towards the back end here, it's kind of where my head's at lately. Just genetically speaking, I'm always constantly considering what's next and if I should or should I continue this way or what. But I feel really good with the path that I'm on right now. So let's just make sure we get there. Let's make sure the queen doesn't eat any more kids, eh? She's out there eating kids again. Well, we're having toast. She's having children. I wonder why Harry and Sally and Janie and Barbie and all them princes and Williams and all that, why did they leave? Why are they not surrounding themselves with the queen anymore? Did they have to eat babies at Thanksgiving last year? And Kate Hudson was like, no, I ain't eating babies no more. I'm out of here. No more baby eating for me. And she left. Like, I wonder what was really going on. Or were they trying to cook little baby Harry? And she pulled him right out of the fryer. So it just depends on what you look at. Like, if you take life too seriously, stuff is gonna... It's important that you recognize, if you're surrounded by evil, crush them by ignoring them. So what I did was I just didn't put live chats on some of my live streams. I think that in the future I will do that. I'll have no live chats, and then when I know I want to talk to somebody, or if somebody wants to if I want someone interjecting, I should say, with me, then you can, but don't. I don't constantly want people interrupting my train of thought. I didn't come on here. 90% of the time I have something to say, I don't come on because I want to chat with someone. I have a narrative and a directive, and I'm teaching you. And it's important you learn. A lot of you are very, very, absolutely, extremely low IQ. And the faster we can get you to something that's a little bit higher up, the better off you're going to be. Let's get you out of those trailers, and let's get you into a big house. Okay? So, today on the show, just give you a little rundown for you, give you a little TV guide of what's coming up. Since you're tuning into the morning show, I will do that. Be my Valentine. It's not even Valentine's Day yet. Crying out loud. I have a VR headset. I want to grab the VR headset. Where is that? Oh, it's downstairs, I guess. So that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace!